Okay, so again, much like last week, I am going to give my overall thoughts of the film at the beginning. There's going to be a bit of a break. Then we're going to have a big spoiler section and then another break. So, okay. Anyway, so Artemis Fowl, the somewhat controversial adaptation of the children's novel series, or young adult novel series, I guess I should say. Overall, I'd say it's probably a D. Nothing too much more than that. There are some good things about this. I do like a lot of the cinematography and the camera placement and the direction and stuff like that. I think that works really well. Kenneth Branagh really does bring a good director's flair to this. I did think the two leads, Ferdia Shaw and I think it's Heather McDonald as Artemis Fowl and Holly Short, are fine. I know they're not accurate to the novel series, but I think the jobs they did were pretty decent. Not spectacular, but pretty good. Unfortunately, that's where the compliments really do end. Everything else is just really bad. There are some bad effects in this movie, for example. Some really bad CGI. At the end, without spoiling too terribly much, there is a horrible green screen effect. It's just really badly composited. It's so obvious. It somehow got through. And like I said, the supporting cast, too, just kind of falls apart. Judi Dench sounds like she's got a frog permanently placed in her throat. She talks like this through the whole thing for some reason. And Josh Gad just will not shut up. Like, I don't know so much, I haven't read any of the novels, so I don't know if his character's supposed to be this quippy, but he just keeps making sub-reference after sub-reference, and it's not funny. None of it is funny. So, yeah, like I said, not the worst thing ever, but not particularly good and not really worth recommending unless you are extremely curious. I don't even know if this is, riff-worthy. So, yeah, I'm giving Artemis Fowl a D.
Wow, it's Lucky! Let's get his marshmallowy Lucky Charms!
Whoa, the kids want me delicious Lucky Charms. I've got to make it home. If you love marshmallows, come to my house, where my Lucky Charms cereal is filled with marshmallow surprises. Pink hearts, orange stars, yellow moons, green clovers, blue diamonds, and purple horseshoes. In tasty oats, the scrumptious part of this complete breakfast.
Got him!
Huh?
Delicious! Frosted Lucky Charms!
Marshmallowy, delicious.
Alright, so again, this is the spoiler section. 3, 2, 1, spoilers from here on out. So, yeah, basically this whole film is told as a wraparound device. Mulch Diggums, that is, Josh Gad's character, is brought into custody. He's brought into some secret government interrogation room where he proceeds to tell the story as news of Artemis Fowl Sr., that's Colin Farrell, and his exploits in being a master thief instead of the antiques dealer that he's proclaimed to be, have gotten out amongst the press due to his disappearance. And Mulch basically explains that no, this is not actually the story of Artemis Fowl Sr., this is the story of Artemis Fowl Jr., the 12-year-old child prodigy who basically, and we kind of get him as I'm trying to find the way to phrase this, sorry. He's a child prodigy, he doesn't get along in school, and there are reasons for that, because his father, who he's semi-estranged from, his father raised him telling him stories of Irish folklore and the fairy folk. Basically, fairy is kind of a catch-all term for goblins, fairies, leprechauns, and the like. And Mulch is a thief who is actually a giant dwarf. So, just we're clear on that. And it kind of parallels another story, which is the story of Commander Holly Short. And it turns out that this all centers around a mystical item called the Aculus. And it's a large weapon to the fairy people. And it turns out that Artemis Fowl Sr. has been abducted in order to get the Aculus, because it turns out that Artemis Sr. and Holly's father, Beechwood Short, basically conspired together to steal the Aculus to keep a fairy uprising to take over the world. Well, from happening, okay? this thing is a little convoluted in terms of the plot too. Like like I said, I've not read any of the novels, so I don't know how much of this is supposed to be just the first book, or if they try to combine things because they realize this is a stinker and we're not going to get the whole franchise that we thought we were going to get. I'm guessing the latter because it seems like they condensed a whole lot of this. And like I said before, I know this is not, the characterization in this film is not accurate to the books. Like, Artemis Jr. is, I think Senior as well, they're clearly written to be bad guys. Like, they're empathetic bad guys, you do understand a lot of their reasoning, but at the same time, they are still bad guys, they do bad things, even though they try to justify it a little bit. I think Artemis in particular is kind of a sociopath. He's way more antisocial than he is in this movie. Like, they just kind of characterize him as, oh, he's just misunderstood. He doesn't fit in. He's so smarter than all the other kids that, you know, he just doesn't relate to them at all. Basically like that character from the Book of Henry, if you remember that. Like, the idea is he has to associate with them, but he doesn't really want to associate with them. And it doesn't really work. Also, there's the butler, Domafoy Butler. I'm just going to call him Dom. And Dom's niece, Juliet, who doesn't contribute anything to this at all. Like, Dom does a little bit. Like, obviously, he's sort of the weapons expert. And, again, when Artemis Sr. goes missing, he explains everything to Artemis Jr. And from that, there's that. And Holly is out, and now back to the fairy folk, and Holly is out to kind of clear her father's name. Her father is deceased. I think it's also implied that her mother, her mother was killed by her father. That's all that's what I'm trying to say there. But again, they don't really get too deep into that. And she's dispatched to deal with a troll that attacks a wedding in Italy, and then she kind of goes into business for herself and winds up getting taken hostage by Artemis, who needs a fairy folk to try to access the Aculus, or try to help find where the Aculus is located so he can free his father from being taken hostage by this person named Opal. And that's all I really know. So yeah, again, getting more into it, I think you can understand where the problems in this movie lies. There's just way too much going on to try to simplify it down into a plot summary. And it doesn't even do a good job of executing that or explaining much. Again, performance-wise, the two kids, the kid who plays Artemis and the kid who plays, I guess she's a kid, I don't know, and the actress who plays Holly, they're decent enough in their roles. They're not great, but again, they do with what they can. Unfortunately, like everything else is just really bad. And I said before, the performances are just not very good. Josh Gad is just way too jokey and quippy throughout all of this. And yeah, there's like this whole joke about how Mulch likes modern music, and he gets it, and because he has something of a sporting relationship with Commander Short, Holly, she smuggles in an MP3 player to him. Also, what year is this supposed to take place in? Because it's like, there's modern day technology, but yet all the phone calls are still done on landlines. Except, like, you know, again, the idea is because Artemis Sr. is constantly traveling a lot to deal in antiques, or in other words, steal things, that's left him and Artemis Jr. kind of estranged a little bit. Like, when they're together, they get along fine, but then he goes away again, and it's like, okay, but you know, we live in a world of email and text messaging now. Do we really need exactly, like, how much of that does it really, yeah. Again, like, smartphones don't exist, but master internet tracking systems do. Like, you get what I mean? Exactly. Like, parts of this just don't make sense as to what time they want to set this in. Like, I know it's gotten a lot of crap recently because of stuff that's been said on social media, but you look at Harry Potter, and I know Harry Potter is supposed to be set in the 90s, but they do a good job of keeping the technology right for things like, you know, there aren't wizards using the internet or stuff like that. I mean, I know, like I said, I know Harry Potter's supposed to take place in the 90s, but you get the idea of they don't have the modern world intrude too much on the mystical world, and this unfortunately doesn't do that. There's way too much modern technology in the mystical realm. So again, it's like you're just confusing things and making it really muddled. So yeah, like I said, it's not the worst thing ever. Like, I was expecting something truly horrendous, but no. I mean, it's bad, but it's not horrendously terrible. That's why I gave it a D. Like, maybe only for the morbidly curious, but other than that, you could just avoid it.
Catch Lucky! He's got Lucky Charms! They're magically delicious!
Always after me Lucky Charms, the frosted oat cereal with sweet surprises. Pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, green clovers, and blue diamonds. Part of a complete breakfast. Oh, they're coming! I'll make a helicopter and fly away.
Lucky Charms!
They're magically delicious.
Okay, so again, no real trailers this week, but anyway, the next review is obviously going to be Da 5 Bloods, the Spike Lee movie that's on Netflix now. I'll be just getting ready to watch that after I'm done shooting this. And then after that, it's the Random Trade Review on Gambit Classic Volume 1, and then it'll be the Backlash recap and review. See you all next time. Hey guys, remember, you can help support my channel at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcat productions, where you can help request a movie, even if it's something like, say, Sonic the Hedgehog or the next Purge film. I'll review it.